Hi, welcome you all. Thank you for joining me again on the channel. I ask that you like, subscribe, and even comment. Um, Today I wanted to talk to you about several things, okay? First of all, I want to talk to you about my kids. I am so grateful that my kids, my three kids, I have a son who's the oldest, and I have two girls right after that. And I am so grateful that these kids took the sacrifice that I made as a divorced mom to make sure that they had what they needed. I put them first because once me and my ex-husband got divorced, I was already a stay-at-home mom because it was just so much cheaper for us with three children that were anywhere from 22 months to 2 years apart, to just stay home because daycare was so expensive. And you know, when your kids are in daycare, they're exposed to a whole lot more things, and so you're missing a lot of work. So the amount of money I would have made would have just been going to daycare, and I would have been having sick days, which could have very easily have threatened my job. So I stayed home, and then when we got divorced, I knew that another dad worked, and he's a businessman, and he's really good at what he does, and he's always been able to make really good money. So I knew that somebody had to be the primary person that was available. So I made those sacrifices. And I'm so glad those kids did not squander my sacrifice. And they are the most interesting kids. I mean, I've got my son, the job that he does is so interesting. And he's so good at it because he just puts everything to it. I was asking him, do you like your job? And he said, I absolutely love my job. Or he said something to those that mode, and he's made it to where he's able to work from home, so he's able to be there for his wife, and the two babies. You know, he just pops in and out because there's been times when she's been out of town and handling business, and I've stayed, you know, with Jordan for a week watching the kids, and Jordan just pops in and out and everything, and it's really cool. So, and then my daughter, my middle daughter, or my oldest daughter, the job she does, I mean, and she is the academic of the family. Not saying that the other kids are not as smart as she is, they are, but they're fine with their degrees. This one, where she's into the mental health field, and so she got her master's off the bat, and she's studying for even higher certification. And I was just talking to her the other day. She just amazes me with her drive and her ability to, no matter what, to do the things that God has called her to do. And she just helps so many people. And I think her life is interesting. I love hearing about her job. And then my youngest, who is in the business world, but also the one that's the actress, the one that's in that world. She's good at both things. But the Lord has shown her to not just be she can act without being poor. So she's found out that she has other skills. And so she's using those skills where she doesn't have to worry about her bills being paid. And in those slow times, you know, 'cause she's a director, in those slow times of the year, that's when she does plays. And in Austin. And I love it. They're just such interesting kids. So anyway, I just wanted to gush about my kids. They're just, with me going through everything I'm going through, I am so grateful they're fine. And God knew that. And that's the reason he had me make such sacrifices that I made raising them, and not do the career thing and all of that, you know, to the max that I could have done, so that they can have what they needed, because that's what brings me peace going through. One of the things that bring me peace is my kids are fine. So praise God. I thank you for that, Lord. Another thing I want to talk to you is how I did a thing on how you have to advocate for yourself. And if you know me and if you're close to me, I talk about that a lot. Because I know how advocating for myself has possibly saved me from a lot of extra things I didn't have to go through, or getting things done. And I'll give you an example. I went to the doctor this last time, and I don't know if I shared this on this last feed that I did on advocating for yourself, but me and her were talking. And the reason the reason I want to share it is because I now have the results of what I was pushing. I started wheezing about a year ago. And it was during the time, this is a very interesting story because my daughter, the youngest, she was on her way home. We rented an Airbnb, which we often do on the holidays. And it was on Christmas, and she was leaving to go to the other side of the family, their dad's side of the family, and all, the kids were going. And Gabrielle had a car accident because somebody just ran into her and totaled her vehicle. And so because of my situation where I'm not working like I used to work because I just have not been able to at this time, and I think I'm sliding here. Hold on, guys. And so I haven't been able to. I was able to just, take care of everything, get all the stuff out of her vehicle while she was with her other side of the family, her dad's side of the family. And I went with her to Austin and stayed for 6 weeks, taking her back and forth to work as we were settling everything, and she was getting the money and finding a vehicle. So, she ended up renting one and then finding one not too long afterwards. I am definitely slipping. I am so sorry, guys. But, hold on, let me see if I can fix this. Sorry. But anyway, so that was pretty cool how the Lord worked that out. And so I was saying that because it got really cold and it was about this time last year. And she lives on the 3rd floor in her apartments. And I was going up and down the stairs, and I do that kind of stuff all the time, and I'm used to stairs, but I was wheezing. And the cold weather was making me wheeze, and I've never wheezed in my life. And I noticed it. So when I went to the doctor, I told her I'm wheezing, and she checked my lungs, and she didn't hear it. And I said, yeah, but it's when I exert myself or when I'm in cold weather or humid weather. I feel it, and my lungs hurt. Now, I had a CT scan before then, like I think last November, and they had found something on my lungs, but I hadn't seen the specialist yet. Well, I did see a specialist, and he just dismissed it all. And I think this guy needed to retire, and I gave the review I did because it was warranted, because what they found should have been taken more seriously, and he brushed it off with nothing. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, this is not good. So I was going to see another specialist, but that's when I got tired of seeing doctors. So anyway, fast forward, I got the new CT scan to my chest the other day, I think Tuesday, and I got the results back. And they saw something else in my lungs, which totally accounted for the wheezing and everything. But now I have 2 different diagnoses. But I see the lung specialist at the beginning of February. So it's either both of those things going on with the lungs, and they would be the result of radiation because of the radiation, the chest thing they used to do with the breast. Your lungs sit right under the breast, and so that side of the breast, and so that accounts for it. But I get to find out what that is. But if I had not really pushed my primary doctor and said, hey, I really need this checked out because I'm having a hard time breathing, and I normally don't have this problem, and when I exercise, I'm extremely winded, and that's normally not the case. And I'm tired, and not just normally tired, because I've dealt with fatigue since all the treatments and stuff, but this was just like really hitting the wall tired. And so, and of course, because of that, we were able to really focus on that with the CT scan, and they found what definitely could be causing it. So that for that one. And then also when I went to get my CT scan, when the girl was doing the stick, the stick is when they stick your arm, and I can only do one arm because I had lymph nodes taken out of this one. So this arm gets beat up a lot. And normally they have trouble finding a vein because my veins are first of all, I'm a hard stick anyway, or that's what I have been a hard stick. And then with only one arm being able to use, of course, those veins get overused. And so they pop pretty easily. And I know that sounds bad, but once you've had several veins pop, it's no big deal anymore. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 pop while they're trying to get an IV in. So it doesn't bother me anymore. I'm used to it. But I hope that doesn't gross you out. Because I do have some friends that does gross out. But anyway, So, but I told her exactly what each part of my arm does. She thought she found a good vein, and I told her, if you go there, those veins have a tendency to roll. I'm just letting you know, you're not going to be able to find it, which saved me from her just digging with those veins rolling and me just sitting there, just having to endure the pain. And then she went to my hand, and I told her those veins have a tendency to pop lately. And so she didn't, and she found one, a good one. And if I hadn't have said anything, she just would have done what everybody else does. Guys, I'm sorry. I should have used my tripod. But anyway, if I'm going to sit up like this. But anyway, so that was what, that really helped. And she even said that, because I apologized. I said, I'm really not trying to be difficult. She said, no, advocate for yourself. I'm like, yes. Anyway, so that's good. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you all about is a study that I heard on Dr. Josh Axe, A-X-E, his podcast. I love listening to him. He's a believer for one thing, but he's really knowledgeable on a lot of things. And I go to his website to find out about different things, because he's one of the trusted websites that I can compare things with. And they've just found, and I'm not going to go into this right now, but I will do it on a later one because it's very interesting, a new side effect of chemo. That is very interesting. But I'm not going to go into that today. But one of the things he did say was, one of the reasons that people a lot of times have secondary cancers, and I know this to be true because I've seen it, because I'm in the cancer world, is they don't change their diets once they get chemo or go get cancer, and they don't do anything extra to help their bodies. Now, we know that chemo can really strip the body, and I had very strong chemo, and I knew I was getting very strong chemo. So I did the research, and I started taking the supplements, and I changed my diet to help my body heal. I had other people who were going through with me, and they said they just eat whatever they want. In fact, I would be in the room getting infusions. There were people eating McDonald's and Burger King, and I was just like, and the reason that that's not that great of a deal is because your body is being just depleted. I mean, your body's killing cells, and that's chemo a lot of times can't determine, because your cells along your digestive tract are targeted just like the chemo cells, because they're very similar. I mean, not chemo, but the cancer cells. So that's one of the reasons why you lose your hair, and you may have some digestive issues, and and everything, and your fingernails. That's one of the things that is affected also. So what I did after just doing a study of people who had survived well, they added certain vitamins to their diets. And when I went to talk to my doctors, I talked about what I could do to help myself. And I saw a dietitian and I saw a nutritionist, and we worked out with my type of cancer, the things that I made sure I went through them. Am I doing the right things? Is there anything else you could add? And they did. They helped me. And so that's what I did. And the reason you want to do that is because once the chemo is done, your body's in healing mode. And they say it takes 10 to 12 years for cells to rebuild themselves and your body to get back whole. Well, I'm only on year 9, guys. And so, and I can feel the results of it. And I didn't even do my entire chemo regimen. I turned down the last 2 because of the side effects. So if I had gone through everything that they wanted me to go through, I'd still be going through chemo, like a daily chemo pill. But I opted out of that because I couldn't see how well it would help, and having that much, my body being that many years taxed, I just couldn't see the results of that. And I really feel like that was the Holy Spirit warning me because of the new tests that they're finding. And I am suffering right now, and have been suffering, and believing God for healing and naturally and spiritually from the chemo that I did have some long-term side effects. But I'm going to talk about some of the things that I did, supplements that I still take on a daily basis that really help your body. And he was talking about these things, and I'm like, yes, I'm taking all of those. Omega-3, magnesium, vitamin C, turmeric. Did I say magnesium? I think I did. I take vitamin B12 because I'm all the time struggling for energy. CoQ10 is really good for your heart, but it's also good for energy. I also take vitamin B2 because it helps with the migraines. Like I've been taking it today, and I have a headache today, because I just didn't get up and take the vitamin B2. It really helps. I take a B complex because even though I look cool as a cucumber on the outside, I sometimes can be freaking out, and the B complex has a lot of the other vitamins that really help you deal with stressors and stress and help you stay calm. So I do that. And when I really need extra help, I take vitamin B1. And so I'm thinking that's everything I take, but there may be some other things, but all of those help your body heal. They boost your immune system. Oh, I also take K2 and D3. My neurologist put me on 2,000 milligrams of D3 daily because it's also brain health, along with omega-3 and magnesium, and vitamin C. That's all brain health also. And my brain is healing also, guys. And so, so that's what I'm taking, and I see the results. Now I wanted to share something with you too. The reason I can look so calm on the outside and be freaking out on the inside is something I learned as a manager. I used to, people could just look at my face and just tell exactly what I was thinking. Now, that's great for parenting because you can just look at your kids across the room and they're like, oh, and they would do it. They're like, oh, that look. Or, and so, but in management, and I had a lot of kids that worked for me, a lot of college kids, they went to my boss and said that they felt like they had disappointed their mom, like when I would get on to them or when I would look at them from across the room, because I thought it was like a superpower. I could just look across the room, be in the middle of a meeting, see something going on I didn't like, and just kind of look across the room and go, And they would go, and they'd straighten up. It would scare them. And I was told that's probably not the best thing to do with management because they don't need to have a mother connection with me. So I had to learn to keep my face straight. But sometimes I just, even my glance they learned that if I glance over there, stop. But I kept my face straight. So when I went to talk to them, they didn't feel like they had disappointed their mother. So I've learned to do that in everything. And it's really good when I go to the doctor's office and I hear bad news. I feel like it keeps me from reacting until I'm able to process and take it before the Lord and talk to God about it. Because that's what I do. When I hear something that is disturbing, I immediately go somewhere quiet and talk to God and just kind of cozy up to him. And he helps me get myself together, reminds me of who he is, and that he already knew this was going to be diagnosed, or he already knew this was going to happen, and it's okay. And so, just encouraging myself in the word, and so, but anyway, and also some of the other things that really help, like I've talked about before, laughing. I've said this many times. When I was going through chemo, I found dry bar comedy. I would every night laugh before I went to sleep. And I still do. I when I'm really getting frustrated, I have certain comedians that just make me laugh out loud. They're just funny. And so I do that, but also listen to music to help calm me. It helps the vagus nerve, vagus. And so it helps that because it's connected all to that. And also being outside as much as possible in the sunshine. Being outside is really good. Grounding is also really good when you can. Taking off your shoes and your socks, standing on the bare ground. It's really healthy for you, they found out. So anyway, so that's all I wanted to talk about today. I'll let you know when we know about the other scan and what we're doing. They're still figuring it out. And they're getting it together, but everybody's got to coordinate what they're doing. And also, if I have one or the other of the diagnosis with the lungs, or if it's both. But even if, no matter what it is, I'm already healed. I mean, I'm going to do what I need to do to help myself. And that I've already accepted the fact that Jesus paid for this all, and I'm not going anywhere until I'm supposed to anyway. That's what the Bible teaches. We all have a day and time that we're supposed to leave the earth. So no matter what I hear, I know I'm going to live and not die until I'm supposed to die. So that brings me so much peace because I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of bad diagnoses. I know I'm going to get through it because I have experienced some extreme pain, guys. Those of you who know, I had 2 procedures where the pain medicine didn't work, and I lived. I lived through it. So no matter what, I know I'm going to be fine, and so will you with all the stuff you're going through. Now remember, have courage in trouble, have courage in pain. Everything you need to move forward. It's not done in vain. And also, like the poet, I can't think of her name, but one of my favorite pieces of poetry. Breathe in, breathe out. It is well, it is well. This is all a story, all a part of the story you will tell. Have a great day. Bye.